Hey guys, going to be using the Nacet again today. Kind of like listening to a broken record, isn't it? 265 shaves have been done with this blade. So today is 266 with this Omega brush, and we're going to use the Sherlock soap again. I've used it a few times lately because I really enjoy it. This is an Omega, and I don't remember the number. You'll have to look in the description or on the title of the video, but it'll be there. It is a very flexible brush. It's not super big. The Finest Badger I used yesterday with this soap is probably going to pick up more soap than this guy, so I'll probably load longer with him. Now he's a Boar brush, and so we are going to soak him prior to the shave. The Sherlock is looking like this. Smelling amazing as usual. This is the Silk Tallow base, a new base from Chiseled Face. And the Nacet is going to be in this same razor as I used yesterday, Gillette Fat Boy vintage adjustable razor. And the setting is going to be 9, just like yesterday, because that worked well. All right, and the aftershave today is going to be one that I really enjoy, D503. A Mont Blanc Legend, I believe, is the inspiration for this scent from Stirling. All right, going to be using my Roger Quintero lather bowl. Got the hump in the middle to keep the brush from sliding around and also to offer agitation. It's got the ridges coming from the center as well. It has an inturned lip, has a brush rest, and this is the 3D printed bowl. I got a link to the designs in the video description if you can print your own stuff or if you want to use an online service to do it. All right, let's start by the blade is loaded. So I'm gonna, with my dry hands, I'm gonna use my, I'm gonna get my face wet. And what I meant was that before I get my face wet, I have dry hands, and so that's when I like to mess with the envelope for the razor blade and all that stuff, but I've already taken care of that. Now, with this soap, seems like I've been underloading for much of the time I've been playing around with this guy. I wanted to use that same Badger I did yesterday, but I wanted to put more uses on this little Boar. It may end up to be a little too flexy for me, but I'm going to put him in the Boarathon eventually, I hope. 50 seconds was probably a little bit okay. I might want to go a little bit more, but that was with that Finest Badger brush. Bigger knot, probably firmer bristles, firmer tips than this guy. So why don't we do like 1 minute and 10 seconds? All right, let's try that. And we'll start when my clock here says 20 seconds. And so then a minute and 10 is what going to be, let's see, I started when it said 20. Okay, so 30 on the next minute. This soap does seem to require a little bit more loading, a little bit longer loading time than most of the other crops that I've used. If I overshoot, then fine. You know, I'll make a note, be able to fine tune it at some point. Medium pressure. Okay, so that's 1 minute. We'll do 10 more seconds. And there we go. We definitely have some ooze. That's how the brush looks. Put everything away here. Rinse off the soap tub. Not really the insides, although some guys do that. I turn it upside down like this, and I rinse off the threading. Keep the soap from building up inside the threading. making the lids hard to screw on and off. There we go. And popular question among different shaving forums is, what do you do after you load the soap? Some people leave the cap off for 24 hours and then cap it. That helps. That makes them feel better about bacteria not growing on the soap. It lets it dry and all that. For me, that seems to leave a little bit too much scent to get away. So what I do is a hybrid. Some people just cap it up right after they use it. I let it sit out during my shave, and then after it, I cap it up. All right, so let's see about this little brush and see how much lather we generate this time. This soap also has shown it takes a little bit longer to load, needs a little bit more load time, but as well it has shown that it doesn't need quite as much water as a lot of soaps. Really glad that I have this little Omega, because it has changed it served as an example about Omega brushes, where it is a soft, comfortable brush, and it didn't take a lot of uses to get that way. Whereas my 10098, my 20102, they're taking a while. They're taking a little bit of time, and they're very kind of stiff and sometimes prickly for a while. But this guy, he's behaving a little bit more like my Simogues. Soft, enjoyable. He might even be too soft, actually. But maybe when his tips split, he'll change a little bit for the better. Okay, that's how it's looking with just 1 teaspoon added. So hey, I haven't mentioned it lately, but coming in just a few days is the Lather Games, the month of June. It is a month of shaves where you try to pick a soap from your collection that matches a certain theme for each day. You look at the calendar, you look at the schedule, and you see like floral or spring type scents. That's day 1, June 1st. And so you look in your soaps and you see if you can find a soap that fits along that theme. You shave with it that day. And there are big prizes if you use this. If you stay on theme the whole month, then there are extra points given to if you use certain vendor people who support the Reddit sub that is kind of behind all this. It's the wet shaving subreddit. And some of those vendors that are just really popular, they post a lot and they're very helpful on that. And so, like for instance, Dogwood Handcrafts. Stephen Joyner is the main guy behind that, and he is awesome, giving a lot of information and participating a lot in the sub. And just a wonderful community we have there with the vendors coming into play as well. It's just a great group of folks. And so then there's, as long as to get full points, you might use a brush handle made by him, or I don't know whether he has one for his hardware or one for his soaps, or both. You know, the Dogwood, he's part of the people who do Southern Witchcrafts. But, you know, the calendar shows all those things. There's a Barrister and Man Day where you need to use a Barrister and Man soap for maximum points. Other vendors get other days and stuff. A few of them, it matters which day you use it on. But most of them, it doesn't. As long as you fit it in the month somewhere, then you get those points. Now, here's the good part about it. If you don't have a lot of soaps, you just participate with what you have. How does this guy look? I've got 3 teaspoons in him. He's probably ready. That looks pretty good. Let's just use that. Looks like I have enough in here, so let's put just a little bit more water in there. So if you can't participate in all of the soap days, like for instance, maybe there's a day for a vetiver soap and you don't have a vetiver soap and you can't get one from Maggard quick enough or from some other place. See, you can just use samples. You don't have to have a full tub. So if you bought some samples or something like that, then you could participate. You know, that would qualify. But even if you're not able to qualify for a certain day or multiple days, you can still get in on the conversations. You can still learn a lot. You can still joke around. If you're a creative writer, that is appreciated. Writing stories and, you know, stuff that might be related or something like that. That is just a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff, a lot of funny stuff. Some people just playing around with hot takes and insulting things and all that kind of stuff. One of the days is you use a soap, maybe, or product, but at least a soap that has something to do with you disagreeing with a shaving influencer. Like Cadenzer is Michael Friedberg, and he has this great wet shaving tutorial series that I highly recommend very often. And he likes to have his blade tabs covered on his razors because sometimes he'll kind of nick his earlobes in other places when he's shaving. And so I might use a razor that has exposed end tabs, and then that's my, you know, my theme for, I'm abiding by the theme for that day as long as I put that in the write-up. Oh, and that's the key. You have to find the Reddit thread where each of the shave of the days is stored, where they all are for that particular day. Find that thread, and I mean, it's easy to find. It's going to be, you know, right there. And then you put in your set of the day, and it's got to be in a certain format because a computer is going to be used, a program, a script is going to be used to gather up all of the entries. We don't want one guy having to pore over everything and write down everything. That happened a long time ago, and he got burned out. We don't want that. All right, so water on my face. Let's see what kind of lather we have with the Silk Tallow today. I've kind of been getting along with skimpy, low quantity lathers lately. Let's see if I loaded for long enough to kind of be living in a little bit of luxury today. Sure feels like it. This is definitely a thicker consistency than I've used so far. So much so that I'm going to take a little bit of water and add. And tweaking your soap like this, tweaking your lather, is kind of neat because you can, if you think it might be a little too dry and you add water, watch how your lather changes. Does it start getting creamy? Does it start becoming something you like even better? So then that'll help you to know how much water you need to put in your soaps, in your lathers. So now we've got 4 teaspoons total added to the lather. I'm going to keep going a little bit. Tilt my face over so that the water stays in the brush fibers instead of dripping down the handle. All right. This is definitely richer and thicker than what I have used in previous days. So I kind of achieved that goal. I'm going to go ahead and put some more water in the lather bowl there, and I'll mix that up after this pass is done. Matter of fact, I'll give it a couple of stirs now. Because I do want it to have a little bit more. All right, we're still on a 9. Let me show you the blade. I don't think I have yet. So here's the Nacet. There's the 3 dots that I put on there. And the dots I'm putting toward the handle of the razor, as always. That's just a tweak I'm doing only with this blade. I've never done that before. Just a scientific experiment. All right. It shaved well yesterday, so I don't expect anything's going to be different today. Doing very well today. Just very minor tugging. I'm feeling a lot of very nice slickness coming from this lather. I can just feel it in the razor. So if you can't participate very much in the lather games, but you just want to, maybe you won't win anything. Even the people who put forth a lot of effort may not win anything. I mean, there's only so many prizes, and we do have quite a few people compete. So you may not. But the point is to have fun. Enjoy interacting with other people. Sometimes you learn stuff. Like maybe on Vetiver Day, you find out what in the world vetiver is. And why it's a popular scent note. All right, a little partial rinse here. Okay. So now let's finish unifying this lather. Just make sure it has a good mix. Love the Sherlock scent. Just to show you the consistency here, I'll pull it down to the bottom of the bowl and pull about half of it up. See how that collapsed so easily on itself? I've got a feeling this is still going to be wonderfully creamy. The water I added is not going to push it too far. Not going to make it too wet. I've just really been enjoying this soap base. And this brush is doing well with it. Very soft and comfy. Not prickly at all. Some people I could see, if they wanted to call it kind of a floppy brush, I could see that. Why it's so different from the other Omegas, I don't know, because my understanding is Omegas use the same bristle quality across all their brushes. And so why is this one so different? Has it been bleached or processed or something like that? That may be part of it. So maybe you don't win anything, but it's fun to participate. Maybe you can only participate in 10 of the days, you know? why not try? It'd be really cool if we had a few people there. And you mentioned that you joined just to, because you heard about it from me. Wouldn't that be neat? Be pretty fun. I know that I've got a couple of frequent commenters on my channel. HD Shaves is out there, and I've watched some of his stuff too. He's great, and he's also on Reddit as well. So we definitely got a little bit of common ground out there with between some of us YouTubers and the Reddit folks. I just cannot believe how much I'm enjoying this soap base. It really might be jumping into my top 3. It really might be. It really might be. To top it off, it's from one of my favorite scents as well, the Sherlock. Yeah, this lather is perfect. Look how glistening and shiny it is. Some lathers are like that, some are not. But it's so wet, but still very creamy. It's a good quality soap that can do that. Tobacco, fine accoutrements, they all do that. Might have to put this guy up against one of my favorites, the Declaration Grooming Bison. See how he does. All right, third pass. Cross grain on my cheeks again. Light touch, always keeping a light touch. I may go fast, but I'm staying light. I would rather have a miss where I have the wrong angle and I don't actually cut anything than to press too hard. I can always come back. Just a loose grip on the razor where I'm still able to control its angle properly. And that way, if you ever switch back to a young blade after doing some marathon work like this, then you don't cut up yourself because you're compensating for the older blade by pressing down harder. You don't want to do that. All right, I think that's the third pass. A little rinse. Face feels good. Let's do a little neck pass here. And I do have an excess of lather, and that's what I wanted. Just wanted some extra margin. Wanted a creamy, kind of rich lather, and that's what I got. Here's what's left over after 3.5 passes. I'm going to guess I'll bet I could get 3 passes of lather out of that. Very nice. And look, it doesn't have to be thick. All it needs to be is slick. And as a reminder, this number 9 setting is one that I normally do not use daily. If I have a younger blade, I stay away from this setting. Great residual slickness here. I could just spread some of this excess lather around on my face. It's just got a great feel to it. And I could maybe even do a little bit of shaving with just kind of the extra slickness there if I wanted to, if I needed to. The old base was pretty good. It was losing ground a little bit to some of the newer bases that just had better viscosity, more luxury to the feel. And I don't care about the post-shave qualities like some of the new bases have, but just in the performance in general. But here's the cool thing. The old base of Chiseled Face, the price was low. The price was like $13. So to me, that's commensurate with its quality. It was a nice slick soap. I really enjoyed it, especially that Midnight Stag, for instance. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And you kind of get what you pay for. If you want to pay a little bit more, you get a better soap base. But man, I would still buy the scents of the inferior soap base of the Chiseled Face old style, because those scents were so good. So we do have several hairs over here that have a little bit of length on them. Not a big deal. I'm going to let it ride. But I still got a good shave. Feels good. Feels close. Comfortable shave. Let's throw a little alcohol splash on there. This is kind of a classy scent with that. It definitely feels more like a department store type cologne than many of the offerings from, Stirling. It's not sandalwood or black cherry or, something like that. But I really do enjoy it, the 503. And it lasts, I do get to enjoy it for another hour or two after the shave as well. So that's cool. Today's shave, 5 1/4 teaspoons of water, 70 seconds of loading, and I ended up with 7 or 8 passes of lather. So I think it hit it just right. Yeah, it went a little overboard because I was playing it safe, but that's just fine. That is just fine. What a great shave. Wow, the 503 is quite a strong aftershave, and so it is overpowering the lather, the scent that's coming from the lather, the Sherlock. That's just fine, because it's kind of like a story. The Sherlock was so enjoyable during the shave, and now we've transitioned to what the aftershave is bringing us. And now I'm going to clean up. So here's something that's happening with this brush. I'm really enjoying it as I keep using it. The comfort level is really high. It might be floppy, but to be honest, maybe not. There's no prickle or anything like that. Also, there's not really very much splay. It's being very slow to widen out and open up. We are getting some split tips and things as we keep using it. But to be honest, I'm really enjoying it. I wouldn't be sad if I was stuck with this brush on a desert island somewhere. It's not one that's going to be super scrubby for you, if that's your preference. It's just not that way. It doesn't have the backbone to do that. Comfort is the name of this guy's game, and as you can see, he's not super dense, so you're going to get great flow through. It's going to hold a lot of lather that you're going to be able to work like you can see me do. And a little cheap guy. Pretty sure this has got to be just a $10 or $12 brush. So glad I have him around. I'm interested to see how he changes. Does he stay kind of floppy and stuff as he gets more split tips? Or does he open up a little bit more and start to act like a wider brush? I don't think he does as well in a narrow environment. If I had a small mug like that had Pucka Williams in it, that had to work, I think he's so long and floppy that he might kind of just lag behind as you work that. Just my guess. So about the lather games, I myself going through some crazy life stuff here in the next several months, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to put forth as much effort as I did last year. I use different gear the whole time, different aftershave, razor, blade, different blade each day, different soap each day, of course. And I tried to hit all the themes and things like that. And it took a lot of thought to schedule all that out, to put soaps in the right place. Oh, I don't want to use this one here because that means I can't use it over here, that sort of thing. And so I don't know how much of that I'm going to have the energy to do, but we'll see. We'll see. I think maybe I might focus on, one thing I might do is just make sure I get the soaps right. And then, because right now the hardware that I'm using, the Gillette adjustables are being great with the Nacet. The Fatip Grande is being great with the Nacet. The Wolfman I have and the Carve are all great with an Nacet. And so I may stick with just those razors for the month, not really think about trying to, even though there are bonus points available if you use a different razor every day. I don't know whether I want to be able to do that or not. But there are also some side contests. Like if you use a different fragrance, or you compare your fragrances every day with your soaps, and it's called the Feats of Fragrance. And I don't know too much about it, but it has a really cool prize in it as well. So there are some side contests, and there are also going to be daily challenges this year. The first one, I'm so honored to be a part of the first one. The day one is the florals, and they picked me for that day, Sugar Daddy Appreciation Day, because florals are not something that I like, and I'm known for that. And so they made that my day, and so people are going to be challenged to maybe try to come up with maybe the people who really want to push hard and nail that day really well. Maybe they do a video log, a video broadcast like I do every day. Maybe they do a nice write-up in my style, the format that I have. Maybe they are technical and detailed, and maybe they use some of my jargon. That's really what I'm interested in seeing. Some of the folks because I was reminded of some of the things that I just say all the time last year sometime, and because some of the guys were talking about it, and it was hilarious, because sometimes I don't even know the things that I say that are so common and frequent, and so I'm looking forward to that. That'll just be a hoot. All right. So that to say that I am going to be participating definitely. I may not be able to go full bore. What I may focus on is the hardware aspect of it and get the soaps, right. And then instead of focusing on the razors, I might focus on the writing and the creativity and just giving good effort to quality of the posts and that sort of thing. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. I got some crazy life stuff going on, and kind of exhausted about it. And so I don't, things are kind of variable right now, so I don't know. All right, well, there we go. I just am thoroughly sitting here. My nose has enjoyed this shave with the Sherlock and now the 503. This was a seasonal or a Black Friday type scent that I picked up. And what a great shave from my nose. All right, well, there we go. I was very happy that I got a nice luxurious lather from that Silk Tallow, and it is nice. It really is. Wow. Okay, lovely. I sure hope there's been something in here that's been good for you. You take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night.